I was privileged to be brought up in one of the most mysterious regions of our country, Volyn. It's in the northwest part of Ukraine. And it's famous for its lakes, thick woods, and swamps. And whenever you are in a thick wood or in a quiet swamp, your imagination starts painting out some terrific pictures, like a predator coming up to you in order to harm you, or just a forest spirit making you to stray away from your path. It's not strange that this nature, as well as the folk myths, inspired famous Ukrainian writer Lesa Ukrainka to make up a drama called Лісова пісня, which became a base for a cartoon called exactly, historians, you know everything. And Volyn is such a region where visits to churches are easily compatible with the visits to some mysterious persons who can provide you some pieces of advice, who can heal you, and who can harm other people for money. What do you call these people? What do you call these people? No. Usually grannies, old grannies, who can provide you some advices, who can heal you, but at the same time they can harm. Yes, exactly, Natalie, you are right. You are right. And from my childhood, I had many stories that a witch can cast an evil eye and you will get sick. That witches can turn into a frog or a snake, and you should be cautious of that. You shouldn't let them into your house or into your barn. And you should be particularly cautious of the witches' nets which they install in some places, like 2 pillars, one backing one another. And I still make a detour when I see this construction. I just don't go straight ahead because I know there's going to be a net. But I took care, of course, and I hadn't met any witches in my childhood until one particular moment in my teenage years. So in 1990s, my family ran a business. They had some money, but suddenly my father and mother, they started to argue. They started to fight for money. My father wanted a new car. My mother tried for refurbishment in their house, and moreover, having some cash in hand, my father started tasting all types of alcohol he hadn't tasted in his teenage years. Mother was in despair. Taking into consideration that they were fighting with the father for money, and taking into consideration his addiction, his newly acquired addiction and obsession with alcohol, he reacted unforgettably. He told, Porobleno. It was a curse. We have to remove it. What did she do next? Can you guess? What did she do?
She went to see a witch.
Exactly, you're right. She even invited it to our house, and the witch told it was Porobleno. It was a curse. It should be Vidrobleno. It should be removed. So it was a dark, rainy, wet October evening when this granny came to our house. It was an old lady with feeble and weak knees, but something was special with her eyes. They were agile, full of energy, like devil's eyes. So she came to us and told, give me please a shovel, a spade. Well, I gave her a spade. She went out of the house to our yard and started excavating. Since it was rainy, since it was wet, since it was dark, we couldn't get what she was looking there. But in 20 minutes she came back with a shovel and with a bag in her hands. Then she showed the contents of the bag. And it was an unpleasant picture, and a terrible picture. What was inside? Can you guess? Any guesses?
A dead mouse.
Any other options?
A picture of a funeral or coffin
it's not a picture, it just, there was something which...
Hairs.
Okay, yeah, you were too close. There were bones of a human animal she had just excavated. And the witch told, the witch confided, that these bones had been used in a ritual to make the family fight until it is broken. But after her digging out these bones and making her own ritual, she told that the curse had been gone. From that point, my parents didn't quarrel for 3 days. And $100 was gone with the witch. So it was in my teenage years. And then I left Kiev and didn't pay much attention to these magical influences. But 2 years ago, I decided to go to my parents and to go by train. So I got on the train, found my compartment, and found an old lady there. We just started a small talk about Christmas, since it was a Christmas Eve, about weather, about the frost. And then she asked me, well, my wife was. I reacted, I'd never been married at all. She replied, it was really strange.
Porobleno.
Yeah, and then she pulled out a pack of cards out of her bag. She asked me to cut them. And it's cut. Just like this. Yeah, just like this. Yeah. So after me cutting them, she delivered a speech why I hadn't been married, why I faced some discontent, disappointment, and pain in relationship. So her story is the following. Okay, Yuri, in your 20s, you were dating a girl. She was very serious. She had an intention to marry you. You were not serious. You had no intention to marry. You were playing with her. She was really upset. She decided that if you wouldn't marry her, you wouldn't marry anybody. To tell her that I was shocked is to tell her nothing. She described a particular situation in my life. The granny added, the girl was in love, but I ruined everything. And for that time, I was harvesting what I had sown. She told that the girl made a ritual to harm me and never marry. So it was a game, Porobleno. And in order to remove the curse, I had to stop. Stop what I asked. Dating girls?
Today is my birthday. It's my birthday.
Drinking alcohol. Since the ritual was made with an alcohol. Believe me or not, I was on an alcoholic diet for almost a year. As you see, you can meet these people with extra capabilities, with some extra powers, with some skills almost everywhere. I met her on a train. You can meet them also on a train, on a bus, among your neighbors, and even here, in this room. Because this lady taught me how to use cards. And I can easily sort the things out in your life. I can tell you about your past, your current situation, and predict your future. So guys, if you have questions after the meeting, $100 and everything over you. Thanks.